Today, I want to share with you 3 tips to help you activate your core when you are working out. So, the first one has to do with something you probably hear instructors say a lot. I find myself saying it occasionally as well, but it can create paradoxical breathing. So, what it is if you think, pull your belly button back towards your spine. What this does is it creates this cinching sensation within your abs, which can create paradoxical breathing. Paradoxical breathing is where there's pressure high and there's pressure low. We don't want to do that. So instead, what I recommend you do is think about zipping up. So if you were to imagine pulling on a pair of pants that are too tight, and you're going to zip up from your pubic bone all the way up to the rib cage. Or you can think of like stitching up. So imagine getting those pelvic floor muscles on board. You want to think about pulling up, pulling all the way up to the rib cage. That is a better way to think about it because it gets all the muscles on board. The second one has to do with bracing. So depending on, sorry, I had to cough. Depending on what you are doing will depend on how much you should brace. So what I think of, the best way to describe bracing is imagine someone is going to punch you in the gut. I know, it's a terrible way to think about it, but it is effective in getting you to brace properly. So imagine someone punching you in the stomach, getting ready to punch you in the gut. You are going to hold your core to prepare for that punch. What happens when you do this, that is called bracing. This is something you can do during your workout. But here's the thing, you don't want to brace all day long because that's going to create other problems and it's really unnatural. So what you're going to do is, like when you go to pick something up, you want to imagine that bracing. You're going to also have different levels of bracing depending on what you're doing. So that's just something where you can kind of play with it. Imagine, if you're picking up a 5-pound weight, you're not going to brace as much as if you're picking up a 20-pound box. So just imagine, you can practice that. Imagine someone punching you. Imagine what you would do to hold your core strong to get ready for that movement or that punch. So that is the second thing, is bracing. The third one has to do with breathing. Breathing is very important for core strengthening. It is one of the most important things for core strengthening. So what you want to do with your breathing is think about, so you'll take a natural deep breath in, take a natural breath in, and then breathe out. Breathe out as much as you can. On your next breath in, you're going to breathe in through breathe out through pursed lips until you can't breathe anymore. You will feel this sensation deep within your core. That is going to help you fire on those transverse abdominis muscles, which are the muscles that are like a corset in your stomach, and they help hold the organs in and up and are imperative. Those are your breathing muscles with your diaphragm. They are imperative for having a strong core. So again, you're going to imagine breathing out through pursed lips, or like you're breathing through a straw on the out. So you'll take a deep breath in, you'll breathe out, try to get as much air out as possible, breathe back in, and then breathe out through pursed lips. And then if you start to feel like you're coughing, that is when you're going to feel that sensation. You may have to do it a few times to start connecting to those deep core muscles, but that will definitely help. And then what you can do is when you're doing certain exercises, you can do that. Another thing, just here's one more tip, is sometimes people don't feel it through the pursed lips. Sometimes you have to make more of a ha sound. You can try that as well if you don't feel it through the pursed lips. So you might breathe in and then breathe out, go ha, ha, and then you might feel it that time. So those are a couple of things that you can do to work on strengthening those deep core muscles and to get them firing on when you're moving through different movement patterns.